evening once again here on Star News, where we join you again with breaking news of the Southern Finishing fire that occurred earlier in the city of Martinsville. We are now joined live by the City Fire Marshal Ted Anderson, who is bringing us an update on this fire. And Mr. Anderson, I know that you were there through the duration of this event.
Just checking to make sure that they're...
At this point, the fire is totally out, totally extinguished. When the firefighters first arrived on the scene, we did have flames showing through the roof of the structure. We initially made entry under the pretense that there was someone still trapped inside the building. Fortunately, that person did find his way out as we were entering the building. We made our way to the one machine that was burning, and it was actually a chemical fire that made it a little more difficult. Of course, with the smoke conditions inside, made it that much more difficult. We requested response from the Asheville Fire Department, Collinsville Volunteer Fire Department, Stone Ambulance Service, North Martinsville Police Department, and objectively we all worked on it, did some attacks from the roof, also on the machine, contained it to that one machine, and fortunately no injuries. And the machine, of course, is a total loss, unknown as far as any other of the wood products that are inside.
And as I understand it, there was a shift working when this fire took place. Is that right?
That is correct. Initial reports from some of the employees here, the machine in question had been shut down no more than about 30 minutes prior to the fire. So, you know, the actual, we do know it was contained to the machine, but as far as an actual, what I would call point of origin or an ignition source, we have not been able to obtain at this point. The sprinkler system did activate, and therefore this part of the plant will remain unoperational until the one sprinkler head can be replaced, which they're working on now, but they are in the process of opening up the front half of the machine of the business with the protected by a firewall. So they are partially in operation already.
One of the calls that we received, the individual was very concerned because they said it was a huge amount of smoke, but it's not unusual, particularly in these furniture finishing fires, for even a very small fire to produce a lot of smoke. We've seen this before.
Absolutely, and this was compounded with the type of fire that we had. Due to the shortage of manpower, which is unusual for me anymore, I actually got to assist with an interior attack and witnessed it firsthand myself. You know, there's several dangers involved in an industry fire. One is it's such a large area, it's very easily to get lost inside of the building. And then again, with what was burning, like we said, it was actually an orange type smoke that was coming off of the chemical even after it was extinguished, and the water itself, normal water would not extinguish it, which has made it worse with that. We had to end up bringing foam in to cover the chemical, which then helped with the smoke, and we were able to contain it. Also, with the way the building is and the size of the building, there are not many ventilation ports that are accessible without actually cutting through 4 layers of roof, and which also poses another difficulty. So, but once we get the chemical itself contained and we're able to set up some positive pressure ventilation and open up some exits, which did not contribute to any other damage to the building, we managed to clear it out, let the firefighters rest a little bit, and then we're able, with the building now, it's cleared out to the point where we can actually see the machine in its entirety.
Now, we saw on Bob's video there, we saw firefighters on the roof of the facility checking ducts, that kind of thing, looking for, I'm assuming, potentially, flammable sources of material or flare-ups, that kind of thing. Tell us specifically what it is they're doing there.
Yeah, and actually, there was 4 firefighters up there at that point. I may have been one of those up there. And when I first arrived on the scene, that was the duct that was coming out of the ventilation system for that particular machine. And when I arrived, flames were probably at least 8 foot out of that particular vent. And what we were doing at that point was confirming that there was no extension from that duct. We did actually have to remove some of the rubber membranes and some of the insulation to get down to the asphalt portion of the roof to confirm that there was no extension or no other fire trap between the the layers of the roof. So it's sometimes firefighters get blamed a lot for the damage they do after the fire, but it's actually preventative maintenance to make sure that it doesn't reignite and cause more damage. And that's if it's the time frame I'm thinking of, that's what we were doing at that time.
Well, Mr. Anderson, we certainly appreciate you speaking with us. I know you've been a very busy man this evening and giving us these updates, and we look forward to talking with you again tomorrow when you've had time to sort this all out and do a little bit more investigation.
Yes, sir. Scott, appreciate your call anytime.
Thanks very much. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Folks, that is City Fire Marshal Ted Anderson giving us the latest update on that. We now